for not giving my family money after they broke up with me, even if it means they'll be homeless. She had her first biological child when she was 5, and when her father died, she married her stepfather. I was sent away to live with my father's sister when I was 8 and 9 years old. Because her husband didn't want me to live there anymore, we live a long way away from each other. In the past, when I was younger, my aunts were paid to watch me. When I was 14, that stopped. My aunt and uncle had to raise their own kids because they worked jobs that didn't pay well. So even though they couldn't afford the extra costs of having them around, they let me stay and still treat me like one of their own. I rarely saw my mom. I think I saw her 5 times between the ages of 9 and 18. She never called. He was 19M, 18F, and 16M. She had 3 more children. A person grows up. Before, I used to look up my siblings and parents on social media to see what their lives were like. Then, I stopped. It was completely different from what I did. They took a lot of expensive vacations, lived in a huge house, and had the most up-to-date technology. At 23, I went to college and got married. They don't know what marriage is. Now that I'm 28, things are going well for me, and I live in a house with my husband. When we work, we make a lot of money. My cousins who are 30F and 27F helped my aunt and uncle buy their own house. We all worked together to help them. Last year, a group of moms came to my aunt's house begging to ask for money. In the past, his gambling addiction caused them to lose all of their savings. Now that he's lost his job because of COVID, they can't afford to keep their house. Because she didn't have any money, I told her that. Mom asked how she could afford her new house, because she didn't have any money. When my cousins and I did something, she told her mother what we had done. Then she asked for my number. When she called me, she told me about the situation. My answer was no. As she kept pleading with me, she said that if I didn't help, her siblings would be forced to move out. In the event that I didn't help them, I told her that she might want to sell some of their fancy things so that they could all get jobs. I had to do the same thing as my cousins. I had to own up before she could. Since then, I've been getting a lot of messages from my mom's siblings, and even my stepdad. They're all asking me for help. Before now, I have never spoken to any of the siblings I have ever had in my whole life. In my side, my husband was harassed by the people. They've also tried to get my aunt and cousins to try to get me to change my mind. I don't like them all. When they need something, they come back for me. There is also a sense of guilt that is starting to come over me as well. I don't know if I'm in. Is this the beginning? My social life has changed a lot over the last few years, and I don't know how to fix it. So I'm not the only one who hasn't been in love with their social life for the last 1 to 5 years. In March of last year, my social life looked good. Employees at a new company I joined a few months ago were all very friendly and cool. Many team events and parties were a lot of fun for us. We also spent a lot of time with each other after work. During the winter, some of them even talked about going on vacation with some of their friends. Since then, that hasn't worked out. Our home office is 100% of the time. Because they no longer meet in person, there was an early plan to do online team events and things like that. It has mostly died down because they no longer meet face-to-face now. Those new friends kind of faded away. Some of the people I wanted to become friends with at work left for other teams or their home countries. My home has a lot of advantages for me and I enjoy them a lot. But I'd like to still have some fun with my coworkers, at least once in a while. We are now at a point where we can go back to work in the office, if we want. Most people, on the other hand, are very happy to keep working from home for the most part. So only 1 or 2 people from my team are in the office at any given time. There aren't any events or anything else to do afterward. There doesn't seem to be anyone who wants to bring the social spirit with them. In general, though, as soon as it was possible, everyone talked about it. It's been a while now, but most people seem to have gotten used to this staying at home thing. Instead, they want to play games online at the most. I'm so tired of that. Because of the people I know, we all get vaccinated, and I don't think it's because we're afraid we'll get sick. And it's not like I'm a big party person. I just like hanging out with friends and having a beer together sometimes. I also used to have a pen and paper group. We would meet in person whenever it was legal, but early this year, the DM said he didn't want to keep in touch. Just paused for a moment. Now, it wasn't like we were close or anything, but that was another social group that had to go. My COVID helped me start another D&D group, so I did that too. Because the game's DM is too busy to play right now, it's on hold. Then, I also used to have a best friend for a long time. We still met in person a few times, but I think he's been trying to fade out our friendship or ghost me for a long time now. If he doesn't want to hang out with me, I don't want to bother him. So at the moment, I don't have any friends, only a few friendly acquaintances, and very little socializing. I live alone, which I usually enjoy a lot, but I don't like it at all. Most days, I will stay at home all day and not go out with anyone. This is bad for me. Keep yourself busy now. I have pets, go outside, and so on. But most of my favorite things to do are things that I do alone, like writing, reading, and so on. As for online social stuff, I do get some of that, but it doesn't do a lot for me. It's better than before. The real thing isn't even close. I think I'd have to look for new friends. Somehow, right now, that is still a little difficult because most things aren't open or are only limited in some way. All the stuff on Meetup is done online, and so on. Even tried to get in touch with old friends I haven't seen in a long time, not just BC. I'm lonely now. After a while, I'd like to get back together with them again. That worked out. I don't know how often I'll be able to see her. We live a long way apart. I don't know how easy it is to make friends. Anyway, I usually get along with people in groups and make friends. But real friendships don't usually happen. There isn't a 100% sure answer. Why, and I don't know why I'm asking, is this how it's going for you? When things get better, do you think more people will want to meet up in person again? Any advice on how to deal with the doctor pandemic and work from home would be very helpful. Not sure if that's a common thing to happen and what to do about it. This is the third story. I can't afford the life I want in Los Angeles, but I'll know where else to go, too. I've lived in LA for 8 years now, and I love living there very much. I have a lot of good friends, the weather is great, and I work in the film industry, which is based in this city. As for now, though, I'm making around $55,000. As a result of the epidemic, I didn't get as many promotions and grew as quickly as I should have. I should be a lot higher up in my field. And I haven't been able to take the next step in my career even though I've been looking for a job for 8 months. Even though most of the people I started out with have moved up, I'm still at the bottom. I'm sick and tired of living with roommates and budgeting hard to pay for food every month. I always worry about money. My small income and being alone make it hard for me to afford living in this place. At this point in my life, a lot of the reason I want a partner is because we can make more money together. So I think I'm ready to give up LA and working in TV in order to make more money. I want to move into tech marketing or something like that, which is a little more profitable, if any company will hire me. So far I've worked in a field that might not be the same as another. I don't know where else to go in the country. LA is more expensive than the Bay Area where I live, which is even more expensive. There's no place else that I want to move to, but this life in LA just doesn't seem right. I'm so worried and depressed about how I'll rent and live with other people when I move. Until I die, I'll be barely able to make ends meet. As long as I stay in LA, do you have any suggestions for where else to go? I want to live somewhere with good weather and people who are liberal and educated. I'd also like some singles on the side. I can, in fact, find a partner. Everything is just so bad. TLDR, I couldn't do it in LA. How can I help you? I don't know where else to go or what to do.